Hello, I'm Jane Madej and welcome to Doodle Bliss. Today we are going to talk about painting a evergreen tree with watercolor. So to start with, if you want to, when you start, you can get a ruler and draw a line like this to help you make sure that your tree is straight. That's something that I kind of do by eye, but it's really easy to make it lean one way or another without really realizing that you're doing that. So now that I have that, I'm going to start at the top and gradually work my way down. Like this. Now you notice I'm just being very loose and just basically drawing the shapes. It's okay to leave little bits of white where the sky would show through. And as I go, the tree is gradually going to get wider. But you want to make sure that your shapes are not completely the same as each other. You want a lot of variation. And as you go down the tree, we're going to add a little bit of a darker green as we go down, like this. And the tree is just gradually getting wider with loose strokes. Like this. And at the bottom of the tree, the branches kind of splay out along the ground. Like this. Now that's your basic shape of the tree. So I've got some others that I have prepared for you here, so we don't have to bother about drying that one. And now we're going to go in. I've got my basic tree shape. Now we go in, and what you want to do is you want to add the shadows underneath the branches. Sorry, I didn't realize I had it too far off to the side there. We're going to add the shadows underneath the branches, not draw every individual needle on there. So you just start just with some little strokes. Now some of the branches are going to be in the center of the tree. They don't all just go down the sides. Like this. And you can see I'm using quite a big brush for this. This is a size 14 silver ultra mini round brush. These are my favorite brushes because they have a really good point, but they hold a lot of water and a lot of paint. So here's another branch that's coming in the center of the tree, coming out, pointing out towards you. For the dark areas here, I'm using what is called shadow green. A lot of manufacturers, watercolor manufacturers, make a color like that, and it is really useful if you're not particularly comfortable with mixing colors. So there you see I've got all the shadows laid in. Now what happens if you want to make it a winter scene, if you want to add some snow? Well, what I've got here is called Dr. Martin's Bleed Proof White. It's my favorite kind of white gouache, but you can use any kind of white gouache, or if you use watercolor, use titanium white. There are usually two different kinds of white paint in watercolor. You'll see zinc white and titanium white. And zinc white is transparent. It is made for making tints, mixing with colors to make tints, where titanium white is opaque. So that's the one that is like a gouache. So I'm just adding some snow on top of the branches. You know, snow, when it's on a tree branch like that, is just kind of a blobby shape. So you just want to put the blobs on top of the branches. Like this. There we go. And now if you want, we can add more to it, like a shadow underneath the tree, a shadow onto the snow. And for that, I'm going to use, I've got some indigo here, a little bit of that, and you can make a shadow underneath the tree. And it's okay, the green is starting to bleed out there a little bit because watercolor will do that. And that is absolutely fine because the green color would be reflected onto the snow and into the shadow. So it's absolutely fine if it bleeds a little bit. The other thing you might want to consider doing is adding more trees. Say you're drawing a forest and you want some trees in the distance behind your main tree. Well, to do that, what you're going to do is get a duller green. Here's a swatch of it. You see it's bluer, grayer, and duller because that's going to be behind this tree. So this tree is going to be the one that stands out from the background. And so for that, you would just start drawing another tree behind this guy. And for this tree, we're not going to add any details because the trees that are in the background, because they're farther away, the details don't show. So I'm just going to keep drawing this tree behind there. Let's make it a little darker as it goes toward the bottom. Like that. So let's get him down there. And you can add another one if you want on this side. Make them all different heights. You don't want them to all be identical in size and shape because in a forest it wouldn't be that way. They'd all be different. So here's another one. Ignore the sounds of my dog if you can hear that in the background. He's being restless. So there's another tree in the background there, so you can see how that works. I hope you find that helpful and that you enjoyed watching that. And I hope you join me again next time on Doodle Bliss. Thanks a lot.